Yes.
Good afternoon to all the webinar team members, principal, teachers, viewers, and dear students. Welcome all to the webinar session on economics. I am Muhammad Mujibur Rahman, principal of Telangana Model School, Gavichalla, Warangal Rural District. So, students of economics, you are all aware that our economy faces different challenges. Among that, one of the most important challenge, one of the most crucial challenge is that of poverty, and it is an ever-burning issue since the time of independence. We see people living below subsistence level, not able to meet the requirements. We see different living standards of people. So I think you came to some point that today we are going to study about one of the most important concept, that is poverty. So students, in this session, unit 3 of second year economics titled Poverty in India will be taken up, in which you are going to learn about the concept of poverty, the types of poverty, causes, impact, measures adopted to remove poverty with special reference to India, our country. Now I take the pleasure of introducing our host for today's session, presentation on the topic. She is Srimati P. Sapna Madam, postgraduate teacher in economics from Telangana State Model School, Raikod, Sangareddy district. Madam has did her economics, Madam facilitator in Basham Educational Institution and Z International, okay, reputed institutions, and is having rich experience in the subject. So students, get ready for the session. Now I'll be handing over the session to P. Sapna Madam. I welcome P. Sapna Madam for the session. Over to you, Madam.
Good afternoon, one and all, respected all the principals of Model School, team of webinar session, my dear facilitators, and my dear students. This is P. Sapna, PGT Economics from TSMS Raikod, Sangareddy, and my coordinators are Mrs. Ranjita Madam, Principal from Nalgonda District, Mujibur Rahman Sir from Warangal District. Today, we're going to discuss about a topic from Senior Inter Economics Unit 3, Poverty in India. Let us see the overview of the session. What we will discuss through this session, what we will go through the session through different topics, that is concept of poverty, types of poverty, causes of poverty, consequences of poverty, remedial measures for removal of poverty. Now, before going to the topic, let us see what are the learning objectives we learn through this session. To understand the concept of poverty, to understand the types of poverty, to understand trends in poverty, to know about different programs and policies of government to reduce poverty, to know how poverty is one of the reasons in hindering economic development. Let us go for our main content now, that is concept of poverty. Generally, children, you all know we'll discuss always about on different issues. The one of the social issue in our economy is poverty. Always you people will be saying, but what kind of poor the people? That is, poverty is defined as a social phenomenon in which a section of the society is unable to fulfill even their basic necessities of life. Social phenomenon here in the sense the situation in the society where their income is very meager, that they are unable to fulfill their basic goods which are required for our livelihood, that is food, clothing, and shelter. So those group of people come under poverty. Now let us move on to know about different types of poverty. That is, according to our economic literature, poverty is of two different types. That is absolute poverty and relative poverty. Detailedly, let us know about different what is absolute poverty and what is relative poverty. Absolute poverty first. Absolute, the term itself denoting that the group of people, they're in extreme conditions, that They are unable to fulfill their basic consumption levels, and they are not able to meet their basic requirements. Here, this has been differently determined by ICMR, Indian Council for Medical Research. It has determined poverty line on the basis of calories, that is consumption level in rural areas in physical quantities. That is, in rural areas, the consumption level should be at least they reach 2400 calories, and in urban areas it should be 2100 calories. Students, here you may get a doubt why the differences has been mentioned observed for rural and urban areas. It's simple that in rural areas we have more the physical usage of the energy than compared to the urban areas. Now let us move on know about relative poverty. Relatively, they are not to the subsistence level, but they are not high level group of the people like rich people. Okay, so they want to earn more their income to improve their standard of living. Like we always talk about middle class people. So those people come under relative poverty. That's why we find this mostly we find this type of poverty in developed economies like US, UK. They'll be talking about relative poverty. But in our country also we find this type of poverty. But we concentrate, our economy concentrates more on the absolute poverty to solve the problems of absolute poverty. Okay, children. So concept is clear about absolute poverty and relative poverty. Now let us see about incidence of poverty. Incidence here nothing but estimates how poverty is estimated, how it is calculated. That is, according to the incidence of poverty, poverty is calculated under two different methods, URP, MRP. Here, URP is uniform recall period, MRP mixed recall period. Uniform recall period will be measured for consumption, income expenditure on consumption basis, that will be for the period of 30 days. Whereas MRP, it is measured for the period of 365 days, that is per annum, and it is focusing mainly on non-food items such as clothing, education, health issues, etc. So incidence of poverty is calculated based on URP and MRP. Now let us see whether the incidence of poverty has been increased or decreased over the period of time. So according to here in the graph analysis, we see y-axis, it's showing about percentage of the people under poverty, incidence of poverty, and x-axis, the area-based percentage has been taken. Here estimates we can easily understand from 1993 to 2005, both in the rural and urban areas, the incidence of poverty has been somewhat declined. The measures, this decline has been done because due to the measures which are taken by the government, that we'll discuss later. Now let us see the other concept, that is poverty gap index. Gap, the heading itself denoting, that means if the estimates, if a particular estimate has been estimated by the government that a person should earn, like example, 50 rupees per day. If that person is earning only 45 rupees, the 5 rupees what the less he is earning, so that he will be above poverty line. But he is from the estimated value of the government, that is 5 rupees. So he's coming under poverty gap index. So to calculate the gap, what is the percentage of the people coming under that gap index, this method is used. So this is one of the method which is used to define the average poverty gap of the population. Okay, so it is calculated by using the formula, given formula, that is poverty line minus average consumption of the poor divided by poverty line. It can be formalized like G is equal to Z minus Y divided by Z. Here G denotes poverty gap, Z poverty line, minus Y the average consumption of the poor divided by again poverty line. When it is taken, how far the persons, how much percentage of the people are nearer to the poverty, estimates can be known through this poverty gap index. Now, let us see the causes of poverty, especially the causes of poverty in India. Why still we are facing the problem of poverty in our country? Due to the following causes: concentration of economic power, under exploitation of natural resources, heavy population pressure, unemployment, poor education, low consumption of essentials, inflation, low technology, capital deficiency, failure of 5-year plans, LPG model, and social factors. Now, these are the causes for poverty, especially we are dealing here with reference to India. Let us discuss detailedly one after the other why they are the reasons for poverty in our economy. Okay, first let us know about concentration of economic power. As the word heading itself denoting concentration of economic power in the hands of few. That means earnings in the hands of few people. Economic activities undergo the changes only through the few people. For example, if we talk about software companies or some big industries, they'll invest most of their investment near to the urban areas than the rural areas, which is bringing the urban rural bias. And these income differences have been increased in our economy over 1990s. Why this has been increased over 1990s, we'll discuss later. This is the reason why the rich becoming richer and poor becoming poor. It can be clearly understand with the following graph. Here the Indian plutocracy, plutocracy means the wealthiest rich people percentage. The richest 10% have the 77.4% of the national wealth, whereas the poorest have 60% of the 60% have the only 4.7% of national wealth. Clearly, it can be analyzed that how we have in our economy, there is a gap between the area wise as well as the person to person. Okay, next, that's why the concentration of economic power is also one of the reason. Now, let us see other reason for cause of poverty is under exploitation of natural resources. Under exploitation here in the sense not using properly or not tapped. We are not used the full-fledged resources. Any economies, increase in national income will be there when there is full usage of the natural resources. Those should be fully tapped and properly exploited. Then only our income for the country will be increased. So in our country, the main reason is under exploitation of natural resources. We are not using it fully. We are not tapping the full the resources like forest wealth, river water, mineral wealth of the country. They are not fully utilized. So that's why when the national income is not increasing, individual income in the country also decreases. That means per capita income also decreases, which in turn shows on the decrease in the standard of living. That's why we have seen that in spite of 70 years of planning experience, still around 7% of the people of population are below the poverty line. That's why under exploitation of natural resources is also one of the reason for poverty in our country. Now let us move on to the next cause of poverty, that is heavy population pressure. High population pressure with low, India is one of the, if according to now, if we, the recent survey will be taken, India will be the among the top, it may cross China also. So this is the main problem where we have, because of high population pressure, we are unable to fulfill all the requirements of its people. So the main problem of India is high level of birth rate coupled with falling level of death rate. When high growth rate of population is there, but equally we have not achieved the growth rate in the national income or other things, automatically it will impact, or it will show the impact on standard of living of the people. So present birth rate of India is 18.2 per when we calculate for 1000 live births. Now that's why heavy population pressure is also one of the reason for cause for poverty in our economy. Now let us move on to the other cause of poverty, that is low consumption of essentials. High population pressure, that means when the standard of living is decreasing, the consumption of essentials will be decreased. That is one of the reason. And the other reason is the availability of essential commodities in our economy is also very low. For consumer goods, we are depending mostly on other economies. So, which is the reason for low level of standard of living. Now, let us see the other cause for poverty, that is inflation. Here, inflation, already the term inflation, about the types of inflation you have learned in your first year, right, children? Inflation means you can easily understand with the picture also, increase in the general price level of the commodities. So that is known as inflation, which leads to decrease in the purchasing power of money. The value of money decreases. So when price increases, the value of money decreases. We are unable to purchase more of the required commodities with increase in the price. When we are unable to purchase more, automatically it reflects on the standard of living of the poor. So its impact is more on the people on who are with lower, middle and poor sections of the society. They are unable to fulfill their needs due to increase in the price. Okay, now let us discuss about the other reason for poverty, that is low technology. Why we have the problem of low technology? There are many reasons behind it. One among it is like the sufficient capital required for usage of the technology is very less. And the other reason is mainly ours is agriculturally background economy. Farmers from agriculture background, because of the illiterate or lack of investment, they are unable to cope up with the latest technology. When new innovations and technology is not used, the agriculture mainly in we are facing this problem in agriculture and manufacturing units also, uh, where when we are not using proper technology, it leads to decrease in the production. When production decreases, automatically it reflects on the income, and when income, it reflects on the income, automatically it reflects on the standard of living of the economy. That's why low technology is also one of the reason for poverty in our economy. Now let us see the other reason for poverty in India. The main reason for low technology is also capital deficiency. The other reason for poverty in our country is capital deficiency. Deficiency is lack of or very low. So capital is required for any economic activity, either it agriculture, industry or service sector. Capital plays an important role. So low capital deficiency, that means development of economy depends on capital formation. Whatever the investment which require for starting any production aspect is known as capital formation. So in our country, we are facing the shortage of capital formation, which is one of the major problem, which is making us to into the clutches of poverty. This can be easily understand with the help of the poverty trap circle. Low income leads to low saving. Low saving leads to low investment. Low investment leads to low economic growth. On the other side, it is also affecting the standard of living of the people. So due to the capital deficiency, we are facing the problem not only about the poverty, but other economic problems also we are facing in our country. Next, the next reason for or next cause for poverty in our country is failure of 5-year plan. Planning is the main objective, right? Individually or for any economic development. Without planning, there will be no achievement in any of the things. Like that, economy, if the economy is should be on a developed stage, there should be a proper planning. So the basic objective of planning is to provide minimum level of living. So here, for example, the Garibi Hatao, the concept, the slogan which was raised by Indira Gandhi, would have been provided meaningful content only if measures were taken to remove poverty. Even though every 5-year plan has given subsequent importance to remove poverty, but it failed to achieve it. Why it failed? Many reasons are there behind it. For example, if we take present situation, government might be planned for many other things, but due to the panic situation, government has to cover those investment, have those financial things, providing basic requirements for the people, providing health facilities for the people. So during sometimes in emergencies, we may have the financial crisis also. So that leads to failure in the planning system. So that's why failure of 5-year plans is also one of the reason for poverty in our economy. Now let us know about the other reason, main reason, unemployment. Just we have discussed about that India has the problem of high population pressure. When we have more people, it is leading to increase in the labor supply also. So India is, due to the high population, India is also having the problem of labor supply. The labor supply is abundant, but deficiency in capital availability. That means lack of capital. We are unable to expand the industries, invest on more industries which produce the labor, which can employ more number of laborers. This result in unemployment, and which result in having poverty in our country. Tremendously, we find economic unemployment in our economy. Okay, children. So this is one of the problem for all the other social issues in our country also. Next, let us discuss about other cause for poverty is poor education. One of the reason for unemployment is poor education. People under below poverty line unable to send their children for reach higher education level. That's why this is another major cause of poverty, that they are not able to get high qualifications because they are sending their children for work, so that they will support for their family. So this is leading to upgradation in child labor also. And also we can know that there is a direct relationship between education and earnings. When we are not properly educated, will have reduce in skills also. So it is showing impact on the production process also. So poor education directly have the relation, uh, uh, directly showing the impact, its impact on decrease in standard of living also. So that's why poor education is also one of the reason for poverty in our economy. Now, the other reason, one more main reason, that is LPG model of development. We just now we have discussed about concentration of economic in the hands of few. That one of the that has been increased over the period of 1990, because in 1991 new economic reforms has introduced the LPG model of development. Here LPG model of development, the new economic policy in 1991, it has been introduced in our economy. Here LPG liberalization, privatization and globalization. So this method concentrates, emphasize more on capital intensive than on labor intensive. Just now we have seen labor is abundantly there in our country, but this model is emphasizing on capital intensive. That means more usage of the machines than on the of the labor. So which is causing, which is leading a serious threat for the employment potential. So this model brought down development of agriculture and agro-based industries, which is a major source of generation of employment in our country, and which is leading to unemployment. If this model was properly developed or used or planned, we'd have a good opportunities in service sector, in industry sector also. But due to many reasons, it has been not properly showed its impact on our economy. Now let us see the the last cause for poverty in our economy is social factors. Social factor here nothing but the situations in the society. Its impact mostly is there on the rural areas. Social factors depending on, if we see near the surroundings, we'll see, and we invest more on the social activities here. People mainly in rural areas spend their income on social activities than on economic activities. In the economy, in economics, generally we'll be talking about social activities and economic activities. Children, social activities, when we invest on social activities, we are not getting any output. Okay. But whereas economic activities means when we are investing on economic activities like on education or on investment in industries or agriculture, when we are investing over there, we have a good output. Here in social activities, it doesn't have any output, only for happiness for the short span of time. So in our country, mainly in the rural areas, people spend most of their income on social activities. So people under below poverty line have their own very less saving, and they are borrowing much greater income from money lenders, informal sources, okay, which is leading them to the indebtedness, and which is one of the which is leading that to the effect of which showing its impact on the effect of poverty. So social factors is also one of the reason for poverty in our country. Mainly we see this problem in rural areas. Children, here you understood about easily about the causes of poverty. Now let us see the consequences, that is impact of poverty. So poverty of any kind cause serious impact on the society, economy, as well as on the political life, that is of political life of the country, that is the on the ruling government or government. Okay, so let us see what are the impacts of poverty. Unequal opportunities, inefficiency, problem of unemployment, income inequalities and insecurity, malnutrition, health, education. So these are the impacts of poverty. When poverty is there, it's showing impact on these all things. Serious impact on these all things. Let us discuss detailedly about the impacts of poverty. First, unequal opportunities. Just now, one of the cause we have discussed, that is concentration of economic power. That means it is not only bringing the urban bias rural, but also the gap between the persons also. That is the reason we have the three sections of the people in our society, right? That is rich, middleman, and poor. Here generally has, that is rich will have the better opportunities with the aid of money and supremacy of the resources, while poor class always remained deprived of even the basic needs. Consequently, it reflects on the poor section of the people. Richer are growing fast than the poor section. So it's showing it is showing impact on creating the unequal opportunities in the society. Now let us see other impact, that is inefficiency. Efficiency means skilled person. Inefficiency means lagging behind the skill. Okay, here we can take a small example, person, labor, skilled labor and unskilled labor. When skilled labor is utilizing his innovative skills and other things, production will increase. Whereas poverty here reflecting on, it's showing impact on inefficiency. Because of education, they are not going for higher education and special training. It will show its impact on the skills. His skills will be lagging. The labor skills will be lagging behind. So, for example, here we can easily understand decrease in efficiency, that is ability or skills, leads to increase in prices. Why? Because decrease in efficiency, it shows its impact on production process. When production decreases, automatically it reflects on increase in the price. Children have learned about demand fluctuation, increase in the demand, supply in the demand, how the changes in the price takes place. So same impact here also it is showing. Inefficiency in the labor or the other things result in the decrease in the production, which result in increase in the prices. So here again, increase in efficiency, skilled labor. When a labor is able to have the full skilled and innovative methods in inputs, we have more output, that is production, which when production is more, automatically prices decreases. When price decreases, the purchasing power of money increases. When purchasing power of money increases, we can purchase more, there will be improvement in standard of living. But in our economy, poverty is showing its impact on inefficiency. Now let us discuss about the other cause of poverty is problem of unemployment. Impact of poverty is problem of unemployment. Poverty, it's creating unemployment. The problem of poverty leads to the problem of unemployment. The country has a poor, that not getting required many opportunities. Just now we have discussed why they are not getting required opportunities, because they are we are the country, because of lack of capital deficiency, we are not able to invest more on the industries and create employment opportunities. When employment opportunities are not created, automatically it reflects on the standard of living of the people. So this situation, the period of 6 months of this panic situation, of this panic situation, COVID-19, nearly, it is estimated that nearly 20 to 25% of the people have become unemployed in our country. Government is taking necessary measures to provide them income source, other sources which is required for them. But even though we have the problem of unemployment, mostly the poverty is showing impact on the unemployment problem. Now let us discuss the impact of poverty. The other is income inequalities and insecurity. Until unless problem of unemployment is solved, we can't remove these income inequalities. When there is income inequalities, it creates insecurity among the people. So we may also say that because of these income inequalities and insecurity, lots of crimes are increased in our economy. So the poverty's impact is also more on income inequalities, and which is leading to insecurity. Now let us move on to other impact of the poverty, that is malnutrition. The parents, the people under below poverty line, because of their meager income, that is very less income, unable to give the required food for their children, so which is leading to malnutrition. So malnutrition, it's have its impact on education, because they doesn't have proper nutritious food, the health will be affected. When the health is affected, they are unable to go for the schools. So here it also showing, the poverty is also showing impact on education, because they are not unable to attend the school. That is also one of the reason, and it is also showing its impact on health. Malnutrition is also showing impact on the health of the people, mainly who are under below poverty line. So one of the most severe effects of poverty is health. Due to malnourished food, diseases are very common in people living in rural areas, which is leading them to go, that means they are not able to achieve their goals, or they are that is also one of the reason for unskilled labor in our society. So malnourished is also one of the impact. Poverty is showing its impact on malnourished also. Now let us see the other impact of poverty in our economy is those were the important those were the impacts of poverty in our country. Now we have learned about causes and impacts of poverty. Now let us see what are the remedial measures are taken by the government to overcome the problems of poverty in our economy. Okay, here, since poverty and unemployment are inseparable, we cannot separate them, because when employment opportunities are created, automatically there will be improvement in income, which reduces the poverty. So the programs which have, the measures which are taken, the programs which has been implemented for poverty and unemployment both are same. So the planners have adopted 4 broad categories of programs in the stages of poverty elevation. That is resource and income development programs, and the four categories children. special area development program, employment generation program, minimum needs program, resource and income development program. Here, the main objective of this program is to create in financial assistance to develop the resources, whatever they have. Under this category, we'll see SFDA, Small Farmers Development Agency, MFALDA, that is Marginal Farmers Agriculture Landless Development Agency, and the third one is Integrated Rural Development Program. Later, this SFDA and MFDA all were incorporated into IRDP, Integrated Rural Development Program. So here the main objective is to provide financial assistance. That means provide whatever the required investment, mainly in rural areas. They have the land, but unable to, small portion of them, they are unable to invest more. For those people to provide financial assistance. Here, the next category is Special Area Development Program. Under Special Area Development Program, the main objective is they select select some few areas which have the problems because of the resources or other things. So backward areas, depending on the situation, they select the areas. So among them, the categories are DPAP, Drought Prone Area Program, then DDP, Desert Development Program. So with these programs, we can clearly understand. That means specially categorized areas are taken into concentration, develop mainly the hilly areas or droughtly affected areas by providing irrigation facilities or other non-farm sectors activities, so that employment will be created. And the other category is employment generation. The first two categories concentrating on the development of the area, whereas third one, it's concentrating on the main objective of employment generation program is to generate the employment, to create the employment opportunities. So the main categories, the main programs under these employment generations are National Rural Employment Employment Program, Rural Landless Employment Guarantee Program, then Prime Minister Integrated Urban Poverty Eradication Program. So these two, first NRP, National Rural Employment Program, Rural Landless Employment Guarantee Program, Food for Work Program. These three are mainly concentrates on rural areas, whereas this fourth one is concentrating on removal of poverty under urban areas. We find most of the people in urban areas also living under slum areas. So in order to solve the problems of those, it gives more special preference to the people who are living under below poverty line in urban areas. Later, during 1980, National Rural Employment Program has been incorporated into MGNRE-GA, that is Mahatma Gandhi National Rural Employment Guarantee Act. Now, the fourth category is Minimum Needs Program. The above three have been creating financial assistance, employment generation. The fourth category is to improve or to develop the infrastructure facilities, mainly in rural areas. For example, irrigation facilities, development of communications. Okay, those all minimum requirements. What is required for to remove to solve the problems in that area? Those have been the main objective to fulfill those minimum needs in the rural areas. So these are four broad different categories where government has planned for different programs for poverty, for removal of poverty. Now let us see different strategies. Central government and state government here introduced the two different level strategies. Firstly, expansion of sectors which promise higher labor absorption. Secondly, empowering the power with education, skill formation, health, so that they can enter into the sectors which they require higher competence. Firstly, that means instead of concentrating more on liberalization, other things, concentrate more on the providing investment on the industries or other things which require more labor, so that employment opportunities will be created. Secondly, if skill, education, health are provided, we will be having the increase in efficiency in human resources. So concentrating more on education, skill formation and health. So these are recent strategies. Now let us see the measures which are adopted by other measures which are adopted by central and state governments to overcome the problems of poverty in our country. That is, first, adoption of strategy of pro-poor growth instead of emphasizing on liberalization and GDP. Instead of concentrating on liberalization and GDP, emphasize the strategies that where employment will be created for people who are under below poverty line. Next strategy is stimulating agriculture growth, because ours is backbone of our economy is agriculture. If more concentration is taken on the development of agriculture, its impact will be shown on development in agro-based industries also. So the employment will be created in agro-based industries. So in order to achieve that, concentrating more on agriculture growth, increasing the productivity and job quality of the unorganized sector. Children, previously also we have studied that in our economy 93% of the people are working in unorganized sector. So if proper working conditions and proper wages are improved in unorganized sector, the standard of living of the people who are working in unorganized sector also increases. And the next is empowerment of the poor through education, skill formation, better health and housing. And the next is providing employment through NREGP. Just now I said you, it has been converted into Mahatma Gandhi National Rural Employment Guarantee Program. So these are the other remedial measures which are taken by the government, central and state government, to overcome the problems of poverty. Now let us see the new welfare schemes which have been taken by the present government. That means present, even though in this panic situation, just now we have discussed, government is providing many of the facilities which are required to maintain the economic stability as well as to fulfill the needs of the people. So let us see what are the new welfare schemes which are taken by the present government. That is Atmanirbhar Bharat Abhiyan, PM Kisan, that is Pradhana Mantri Kisan Samman Nidhi scheme, then Pradhana Mantri Kisan Pension Yojana, then Prime Minister Garibi Kalyan Yojana, Swachh Bharat Mission, Pradhan Mantri Shram Yogi Manadan, then Beti Bachao Beti Padhao, Digital India Mission. See, through this program we can analyze that government will concentrate on overall development of the economy. It is concentrating on agriculture sector. Through Beti Bachao Beti Padhao, it is concentrating on girls education, because, and also through Digital India Mission, it is concentrated trying to develop the service sector also. So these are the new welfare schemes which has been taken by the present government. Now let us see, even though implementation of these policies and program, the percentage of poverty has been reduced or not. So the estimates of 2005 to 2011 to 12, if we see, these are the poverty estimate during, if we take state wise, let us see one state, that is Assam. 34.4% percentage of the people were on during the year 2004 and 5. In Assam, that much percentage were under below poverty line, whereas it has been decreased to 32%. That means 2% the poverty has been decreased. If we see Chhattisgarh also, 49.4%. Previous it was percentage of the people were under below poverty line in 2004 and 5, whereas it has been decreased to 39.9%. That means the 9.5 percentage has been declined. So if we see the state wise also, there is decrease in the poverty levels when we are comparing with 2005, 4, 5 to 2011 and 12. So it is clearly explaining that due to the impact of the policies and programs which are taken by the government has creating employment opportunities, basic requirements for people, and other things which reflects on the decrease in the poverty. That means we are under the developing stage. That means growth. We are achieving our goals. Now let us see the estimates, that is relative poverty estimates for Telangana. Okay, for the census 2011-12, for the year 2011 and 12, percentage of the poor in the rural areas 9.3 and in urban areas 11.1. Total it is 10%. And if you take in poor in lakhs 20.1 in rural areas and in urban areas 15.2. Total it is 35.3. Whereas when we compare with the India's percentage of the poor 30.9 in rural areas and in urban areas 26.4, in total 29.5. In Telangana also we have many of the welfare schemes to develop education and also to create employment opportunities, like, and to also to develop the irrigation facilities we have seen by our government also. Now let us see have a graph map reading of 2015 and 16. The analysis shows that the percentage of the poverty almost in most of the states has been decreased, except in few states like the percentage we find here above 40%, that is in Madhya Pradesh, Uttar Pradesh, Bihar, and Jharkhand. We have more the percentage of people living under below poverty line in our economy. Whereas least percentage we find that is only 0 to 10%, the places of Himachal Pradesh, Punjab, if we come to the south, Kerala, Tamil Nadu. So overall, if we see the overall estimates, percentage of poverty below poverty line percentage has been reduced because the implementation of different policies and programs are full-fledgedly, it shows its impact that the percentage has been reduced, the people of below poverty line. Now, let us see the different committees which worked for to calculate the percentage of poverty in our economy since 1962. PC Working Group, B.M. Dandekar and Enrath Group in 1971, Alga Committee in 1979, Takadavalia Committee in 1993, Tendulkar Committee in 2009, and Rangarajan Committee, present also it's working. So these are the different working group estimates committees which has been calculated the percentage of the poverty in our economy. Present the work is also has been taken by NSSO, that is National Sample Survey Organization. Now let us see I think children, it is clear about what we have learned, the reasons of poverty, causes of poverty, consequences of poverty. It's clear, but let us see what we have learned in the session. That is, what we have learned through this session. That is, we have learned about concept of poverty, types of poverty, causes and consequences of poverty, remedial measures which have taken for poverty, and about the different poverty estimates. Children, through this session, I think the concept of poverty and types, different causes, remedial measures which have taken by the central and state government, and different poverty estimates, it's clear to you all. Now, let us see what type of questions you can answer through what we have discussed in this session. That is, examine the causes of poverty in India, explain the remedial measures of poverty in India, define the term absolute poverty, and define the term relative poverty. So I think children, you're it's very clear about poverty in India. Yes, children. Thank you, madam.
Okay, madam. Thank you, madam, for your clear and effective presentation of each topic related to poverty. And madam has covered all the topics, current strategies which are adapted by the governments nowadays to counter this problem of poverty, what measures are being taken. So the depth of the topic is properly covered. I think students, you understood all the points, whatever madam has told you, and noted down the points. And this noting down of the points and follow up of this session later on will also help you in scoring well in the examination. So thank you, madam. Thank you once again very much. Okay, okay, thank you, madam.
Thank you, one and all. Thank you, students. Thank you.